I know a cemetery might feel like a strange place to film a video, and I get it. It might seem like I'm here for some clickbait death talk, but I promise, that's not what this is. This isn't about being edgy or dramatic, it's about stillness. About taking a quiet walk in a place where you're allowed to think about the things that most people try not to. I love places like this. They're peaceful, tended to, well kept. A cemetery can be just as good as any park for a place to walk. Of course, apart from being beautiful, cemeteries remind you that none of us are here forever. And for me, that's not a sad thought. It's actually quite grounding, and can even be comforting. When I walk past tombstones, I always wonder about the lives behind the names. Who were they? Who loved them? What were they proud of? What did they worry about, and what turned out not to matter? It makes me ask the same questions about myself and my own life. If someone passed by my grave one day, what might they imagine I stood for? What would I want them to feel? That's the strange beauty of these walks. They take your mind out of the noise of right now and stretch it across time. Suddenly, your calendar doesn't matter. Your unread emails don't matter. Work stress doesn't matter. All that matters is, what am I doing with this brief little window of life that I get? And am I spending it well? Like many, I've read a bit about the Stoics and connect with a lot of their philosophies. The Stoics had a phrase, memento mori. Remember that you will die. They didn't say that to be morbid. Instead, it was a reminder to pay attention, to stop taking things for granted, to let go of grudges and insecurity and ego, and to notice, really notice, the people around you. To enjoy the little things you'll someday miss. Pleasant evenings like this, the sound of gravel under my feet, mountain views, the feeling of breathing clean, crisp air, all of it. There's something about walking among tombstones that makes you realize that this moment, right now, this is all we've got. You're living your future memories today. The stories that people will someday tell about you, it's being written right now. And what do you want your tombstone to reflect? That's also for you to decide right now. I also appreciate the Buddhist views on death. They're another group of people that don't ignore death and instead study it. They learn from it. To the Buddhists, the self, the person you think you are, is always changing, always dissolving, constantly in a state of flux, so much so that the whole idea of a solid self is really just an illusion. Because of that, it doesn't make sense to cling to it. You can't freeze life in place. Instead, you learn to ride the wave of change. Accept transition, since that is all life really is. To love without needing to possess, to enjoy without needing to control, to walk through this world lightly, knowing it's not yours to keep. I like to reflect on all of those ideas when walking in cemeteries. Doing so, in a place that most obviously marks endings, I find myself feeling more alive. Not in a manic, time to check off those wild ideas from my bucket list kind of way. More so in a present way, like I'm more awake and grateful. I'm aware that nothing is promised, and somehow that makes everything feel more beautiful. This place, it's full of people who had their own worries, their own dreams, their own flaws and heartbreaks and inside jokes. They all mattered deeply. And then they were gone. And now the sun sets behind this mountain, the wind moves through the grass, and I walk here among them. Still alive, still breathing, still able to think, to feel, and to speak. But one day, I'll be a name on a stone too. And I hope that people will walk by me, feeling not fear or awkwardness, but peace. I hope they'll think of many of the same things that I do now. That they'll feel more grateful and alive and appreciative of the life they have. Now, I know that this isn't everybody's idea of a good evening walk, but for me, it's an interesting and meaningful way to spend time. Not avoiding death, and instead, leaning into it. letting it remind me to live more fully. Anyway, thanks for walking with me. And let me know in the comments if you enjoy walking through cemeteries too. I'd love to hear about what you think about in places like this.